The alcohols are a group of organic compounds which are all based around having the same functional group, and that functional group is an OH group. So a carbon atom covalently bonded to an oxygen and a hydrogen. You will also see it displayed like this, where we show the covalent bond between the oxygen and the hydrogen, but all we're looking out for is a compound with a oxygen bonded to a single bonded to a hydrogen and then single bond onto another carbon. And there are three which you need to be able to name, although the rules can be extended to any of them. So this ties in with our rules on naming alkanes and alkenes. If we just have one carbon atom in our chain, this is going to be based on meth or meth. So to draw methanol, you would just have to make sure you show the oxygen atom covalently bonded to the carbon, and then make sure you've got the OH group, and this one is called methanol. Methanol, which I can't spell. So the second one in this homologous series, this group of compounds with similar properties, is going to have two carbon atoms. I'm going to make sure it's a saturated compound, and again, off the second carbon atom, you need to draw your OH group. And applying the same rule again, this one it's got two carbon atoms in a row. It's going to be based on eth or eth. This time it's going to be ethanol. Same pattern continues for our third alcohol. We're going to have three carbon atoms. It's going to be saturated, all single bonds. Just one thing to be aware of, the OH group does not have to be to the right hand side. You might see it drawn something like that, and that's still an alcohol. So this is going to be propanol. Just be aware, this is not necessarily going to be tested on GCSE, although it could be. You might see propanol drawn like this, but there is actually another form of propanol where we have the alcohol functional group attached to the central carbon atom. So you do learn more about this at A level, but just be really aware it doesn't matter where the OH group is attached to. In this case, it's attached to the central carbon atom. That is still a form of propanol. So I'm just going to circle functional groups. Remember, you're always looking out for an OH group. Okay, so what are the properties of alcohols? Well, thankfully for some people at least, all alcohols dissolve in water, and they dissolve in water so they dissolve and mix with water, and they give a neutral solution. So all alcoholic beverages are generally ethanol mixed with water, so they dissolve to give neutral solutions. They can be used as fuels because they burn in air. So if we put a little star next to, we put a little star here, we'll do an example of that. So ethanol, we could summarize the structure of this, and we could write this as C2H5. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then OH. So we can then write a combustion equation for the combustion of ethanol. So bear in mind that ethanol itself is not a hydrocarbon because it contains an oxygen atom. However, if we burn it in air, we still produce only carbon dioxide and water. So if we were going to write this equation out, we'd want to balance the carbon atoms first. So we're going to have 2 lots of CO2. Next, if we balance the hydrogens, we've got 6 hydrogen atoms in total here. So we're going to want 3 lots of H2O. Now, oxygens, we've got 4, 5, 6, 7 on the right-hand side. I've got 1 included in this ethanol unit already, so I need to get 6 more oxygens from here. So if I have 3 there, 3 before the O2, I've got 6 oxygen, 7 oxygen atoms, and then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 oxygen atoms here. That is balanced. Other uses of ethanol, we said they're used as fuels. They're used in alcoholic drinks because they dissolve in water. Another reaction you need to know about them is that when they react with sodium, they produce hydrogen gas. So react with Na to produce H2. Now I'm not going to go into how we form ethanol in this particular video, but I do have a video that I did previously which goes through the methods of formation, either from ethene, using steam and fermentation. So if on your board you do need to know that, have a look back through those videos and they should go through those. One final thing that is useful to know is the general formula of these alcohols. So if we imagine, look at methanol, this is going to be CH3OH. Propanol, whichever form we have, is going to be C3H7OH. So to actually get the general formula of these alcohols, you look at the number of carbons you have and call that N. To get to the number of hydrogens, we double the number of carbons and add 1. So CnH 2n plus 1, and then finally we have an OH group on the end. So just to apply this to ethanol, if N is 2 here, we've got 2 carbons, H is going to be 2n, which 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5, and then OH. So the general formula of alcohols is given to us by this.